Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We back at it again with another episode of the PA Politicare Revolution podcast. Yes, sir. And this episode is going to be what's called the election aftermath. Right. We're going to be going over on some of the local races and some of the more popular races and whatnot, and kind of give you my perception, my opinion on what's really going on in the area. Right. Let's go ahead on and get to it. Right. So it seems like what I've noticed, right? It seems to be an onslaught, a red tidal wave, right? A Democratic onslaught. And I'm going to try to go ahead and kind of go into some of those reasons, right? First off, I want to say congratulations to the only two Democrats that won, Mr. Christian Emanuel and Joe Guillory, right? Christian Emanuel, I think he was the heads-on favorites of being a state representative, and also Joseph Guillory won a hard-fought two-time elected justice of the peace, right? And that's why I say, man, these elections, you have to understand with these judge positions, these elections are pivotal. These elections are very pivotal, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and start with Joe's, right? The Joe Guillory's election, right? You have a justice of the peace position that's been held by a Democratic Party. Now, for the last few years, you haven't had any kind of Republican challenges, right? You haven't had any kind of Republican or Democratic challenges when Mark DeRuin was in office. So you have to understand, you have people that feel like they're entitled to this position, right? When you have Republican parties give up on these justice of the peace positions where they're not actually vying for them, you have certain groups of Democrats feel that, hey, if Republicans not going for them, these positions ours, we can kind of control them. And they have certain people, like what Klein calls the black mafia. Some older cats that think they're more important than who they are, right? Try to go ahead and dictate, hey, we want you to get this position. We wanted you to get that position. So that's why, in my opinion, I'm really not mad that the Democrats got slaughtered into this, right? I am not mad because, in my opinion, you have these older cats like Shane Senegal. You have these constables that be in everybody's campaign pushing people like Chris Bates. And you have, Bartees, the Bartee name, want to be around everything, right? These people, in my opinion, right, are what's wrong with the city of Port Arthur, right? During this election, we've heard a lot of allegations come from the Bartee, the ruined Senegal side, right? You've had some allegations of, alleged allegations of spousal abuse. They're alleging that Joe Guillory allegedly tries to beat on his wife, some kind of crazy crap, some kind of lie they made up. They also had another lie that stated or implied that Joe Guillory and Derek Freeman got together and recorded with Shane has some city employees cut his own yard, something like that. One of the little videos that Mr. Freeman made on his website, right? Kind of exposing Shane Senegal. So you get all these lies, you get all these people conflating different things, trying to throw crap to the wall, right? They know that the election is direly in trouble, and they try to throw crap to the wall to see whatever makes it stick. And unfortunately, right, during this citywide election, countywide election, the people wasn't really feeling the Bartee name or the Baker's name. They all kind of went with Joe Guillory, right? See, people are starting to wake up. As long as we kind of voting with our minds, people, and without our emotions, people are starting to wake up to the, hey, you can't get a crash dummy to try to fly a plane, right? You can't get somebody is not qualified to be a justice of the peace. You got to understand who you're electing and for what position you're elected from. Because, man, these judicial spots are so important because it's about power. Because you as a citizen, right, you want to be able to control the judicial system, because you as a citizen need for the justice process to work for you. Now, if you don't have control of it, then it can't work for you. So, if you have these little fake cliques, these little old, tired, dusty, old political cliques that thinks that they're doing, that they can kind of get over on you, they're going to try to get over on you. So you have to understand, man, when you have all of these name brand people that don't have any kind of education, don't have any kind of understanding of what they're doing, hell, they can't even do an interview right. They can't even do a debate right. And that's why you need to have your politicians do debates. You kind of need to see what's on their mind. What are they thinking about? If you have a politician, right, that's saying that will sit up and lie to you, you got to understand that's what they're doing in a courtroom, right, in a judicial setting. If you have a candidate talks about they do judicial processes when they're on the school board, they don't do a doggone thing as far as being a judge on there. When you have a doggone candidate talking about that they don't have any weaknesses or they can't identify any weaknesses, and mind you, there's a school board where there's a numeric system that identifies strengths and weaknesses for the kids, but still they can tell you about somebody else's weaknesses but can't tell you about themselves, as another red flag. So people, you got to understand that make these candidates come with more substance than just, hey, I just want to serve. I just want to serve. I'm a good listener. I listen and I want to serve. I'm telling you, when you have these debates, these candidates will get exposed. And once you expose them, then it's on you. If you're ignorant enough to keep electing people that are not qualified for the position, then you deserve to get what you get. I mean, it's as simple as that. So, people, you need to take these processes seriously. You need to understand what's at stake, right? Now, going over for the Democratic Party, right? You have to see now. Joe Guillory kind of prophesized this, right? He had prophesized it before when the Democratic Party was split, right? When you had the DeRuin campaign kind of going after Joe Guillory and with all this crazy nonsense, and you seen the Barty, Shane Senegal debates, all these so-called fake Democrats didn't respect the process and honored that Joe Guillory won the Democratic process and got behind them. They went ahead to get the write-in candidate, and I also suspect the independent candidate too. Got these individuals to try to go ahead and circumvent the process, right? So, they got another candidate. So Joe Guillory had to go twice. So Joe ended up beating 3 people for one election. I mean, it's just kind of crazy, right? You have to look at it, and you have to understand the politics at hand, because you have Mark DeRuin, Kyron Baker, and Brandon Barty. He beat 3 people. 3. Smashed Barty and Kyron Baker in this, right? So you have to see, why are they doing all this for this one position? It's about control, because I'm telling you, if the other people are in control, you're not going to get anything for it. You're not going to get anything by it if you don't have control over it, I should say. Because understand, that position controls these evictions. So you have to understand, when you have these apartment complexes ready to throw you out, or these are complexes not fixing anything, you have to do what you have to do. You have to go ahead and go through the procedure, letting these people know, hey, writing a letter to them, I need you to have this fixed, and then going by and trying to, go through the legal process. So repair and remedy. So you have to understand what's all at stake about this, right? All of these things at stake, and luckily for the citizens, we've actually, kind of for this position, kind of knock that out. So that's kind of good. Give yourself a hand on that, citizens. You came out, showed out for Joe Guillory, showed out for the right person. Now, the Democratic Party as a whole, right? Like I said a little bit earlier, Joe had kind of prophesized that when they were split, that kind of would lead in for the Republicans kind of coming in and take over, and that's what they've done. And you have to understand, right, what is the Democratic message? What is the message that the Democratic Party is trying to do as a whole? You don't really know. And I just really briefly did a search on like Carolyn Gidger's page, right, for the county judge. I want to go ahead and see what exactly. I think she had a podcast with another person named D. Jones. I think Deborah Jones or Debbie Jones, something like that. Pardon me if I don't get the name right. But then one of the questions is, what is she going to do for economics in Southeast Texas, right? And basically, she had Miss Carolyn Gidger had took over took the answer that, hey, what we're going to do is it needs to be a cohesive unit. Everybody needs to get in, steps. So she's going to have to try to promote programs, make sure it's everybody on the same page. Look, I mean, and those type of answers right there, those general questions, hey, we got to get everybody on page, is pretty much the reason why the Democrat lost in my position, right? There's no clear strategy. There's no clear answer on what the Democrats are going to do for the citizens, right? It's nothing. It's no reason to change. So anytime that you have a incumbent that seems to be doing a fairly decent job, I think that Judge Brannick, hasn't done anything wrong. I mean, to me, it's done a fairly decent job in there, which is not alarming people for change, right? He hasn't done anything wrong where people feel there need to be a major change and get him out of there. So you as a candidate have to come in there specifically and give information on what you want to do to make that position better, right? So, I just figured that going for the county clerk, kind of being somewhat the leader of that position, being kind of like a leader in the city, you would have to have a better answer than that. Now, don't quote me, I didn't get all of it, I didn't get a whole campaign thing down, but for me, that was the main thing, the economics. I need a good answer on the economics, so that's kind of where I'm at with it. So and what's the Democratic chairperson's name? Ava Graves, right? You have to get a hold of your party, right? You have to get a hold of your party and actually see what's going on. Why are you playing favoritism? I'm just speculating. Why are you playing favoritism to some Democrats, right? And you're not pushing other Democrats. It seemed like Joe Guillory's race was the most disrespected out of all of them. So, when you have this type of trash going on in your own parties, I mean, you can only expect to get railroad. You can expect that everybody will see this. What a lot of times the Democratic Party thinks, right? And this is a lot nationally too, especially national. They think the average citizens are stupid. They think really black voters mainly are the stupid ones, right? Because they're not really doing anything for us. They're not giving us an actual plan of action, what they want to do. And the only thing they just expect, hey, this is a majority black or minority city. Hey, you just come on here and vote Democrat. You switch over to Democrat and we're going to go ahead and vote for you. They'll get you in. No, that's not kind of happening anymore, right? You have a lot more people that are diverse, right? You have a lot more people that are, hey, I'll go ahead, Republican person come talk to me, I'll listen. And that's what happened, right? I seen Jeff Brannick had a lot of black support voters, A lot of black voters, a lot of black young voters, a lot of, just in general. So you have to understand that not everybody is going to just vote straight Democrat on the Democratic plantation. You have to understand that, people. Democrats, you have to get out here, put in the legwork, on why we as citizens should vote for you, and don't do that bull crap like the National do. They want to start dividing black men and black women. Don't do that crazy junk with Stacey Abrams. And she got herself railroaded. You have now you have her trying to blame black men. But when you look at when you break down the statistics on who voted, Hispanics, if I remember correctly, 47% voted Republican. So you have a lot of Democratic on the national side. You have a lot of Democratic policies that's bringing all these immigrants in. But when a lot of immigrants come in, they vote Republican. So Democrats, that's not doing you any good either. So instead of calling that out, you want to beat black folks when black men probably voted 84% for you and black women voted 90% for you. So is that type of bull crap that's been going on in the Democratic Party where people are just like, hell the hell with it. What am I getting for my vote from the Democratic Party? And Democratic Party nationally and locally, y'all need to take ease of this stuff and understand you need to start going back to basics. Go and attract the black vote. That's what you need. Not having these, these people shucking and jiving, just bringing Sheila Jackson Lee every goddamn time, think that's going to motivate somebody. Look, you keep bringing these same old tired politicians. It's not doing anything, right? It's not doing you any good. You can have Shane Senator come to how many doggone mixers or whatever you want. That's not going to happen. You can have Chris Bates face and all of these doggone things. That's not going to happen. You can have whoever these same old tired political names in the process is not going to get you anywhere, right? So you have to come up with something new. You have to come up with something that, hey, some type of tangibles locally and nationally where you're going to get the people. And you have to have a game plan of what you want to do and how you want to get there. I mean, you can not do that, and you can going to keep, if you don't do it, you're going to keep taking these losses. You're going to keep taking these losses for the Democrats nationally and locally. You're going to keep taking all of these losses. So you're just going to need to, if you really want this race and you really want to save on their campaign money, just if you want to not waste all your campaign money, you're going to learn how to do what you need to do. I mean, hey, that's just the skinny of it. That's just the short. That's just the short and a long version of it, man. You have to do what you're going to have to do to get these voters to come over to the poll and not goddamn say, hey, I just can't get the thing done. You got a different Republican up in there. Or, man, your rights going to get taken away. Okay, if your rights going to get taken away, how they're going to get taken away? What rights going to get taken away? And for the national Democrats, you need to have something more on the table than abortion, right? So you're going to need something more than abortion. You're going to need some type of national, right? You're going to need some type of reparations plans, right? You're giving all of this money to non-immigrants, non-citizens, immigrants, Afghans, Asian hate crime bills, Ukraine that hate black folks, DACA recipients, but you're not giving anything to African Americans who have been beaten down by this government the most, right? You're also giving the money to Jews that was in Obama, but you're giving money to certain religious organizations that we have not had anything to do with the Holocaust, right? We haven't done anything, we're not even responsible for it, right? So that was in Germany. So you have to understand, people, when black folks see the Democratic Party doing all this, see Biden doing all of these things, that's not going to make us vote. So what happens nationally also happens to trickle down locally. So you're going to need to get people motivated versus coming out and say, hey, if you don't want a man, don't vote. You have to give people a reason why. I mean, that's just the truth, right? And unfortunately, it's looking like a strong fall for the Democratic Party. I mean, he's going to have to get together, man. He's going to have to get with it and get some changes. Another race I want to talk about is Warnock, with Reverend Warnock and Herschel Walker. Now, Warnock should be extremely embarrassed of himself, right? It is no way Herschel Walker should be even in any type of league with him. The guy can barely goddamn speak. Herschel Walker is basically a goddamn clown. They put Herschel Walker out there as a black face to go with a black man, right? That's the only reason why they got him out there. And then the man can't even articulate his words. He has no clue what's going on. He's actually lied about some type of, what you call it, abortion issue or something. He used to talk about black men and fatherhood when he was a bad father. So, you have all kind of problems with Herschel Walker, right? But Warnock, you should not be in no goddamn position where you're in a race with him. And you shouldn't be in a close race with him, man. I mean, that's just crazy. You have to, just like we said before, the Democrats, you have to understand that you need to get these people out to go ahead and vote. You need to get out and bring them out to vote. Now, let me go back to the Greg Abbott and Beto O'Rourke, right? The reason why Beto O'Rourke didn't win, in my opinion, he's too extreme. He's extreme on the gun position, and he was extreme on something else. I can't think, but one of the main things is, the gun rights. Well, now you can't, Texas, we love our guns. You can't be an extreme Democrat and think you're gonna win. You have to be on the middle of the line type that can kind of understand both sides of the issues, because it's been a traditionally with red states since what, Ann Richards, if I remember correctly. So you have to, you have to tread lightly on it. You have to kind of be between, you have to be a people person where you can kind of go on both sides of the road if you need to. That's just how you have to do it in Texas. Let me see what some other races going on here I want to talk about. Okay. Let's see, Mr. Brandon Creighton, yeah, there was no surprise there. Yeah, Jacoy Rand and Manuel Hayes, right? Now I think most of the people kind of fear that Christian Manuel is going to go ahead and win. The main thing with him, he has experience from Joe Deschanel. And then when I did one of his first interviews when he was actually, coming out, right, he seemed to be genuine. He seemed to kind of understand what's going on. He seemed to have some answers for the questions, right? And that was a great thing. I'm glad he had a lot of answers for some of the questions that I had, right? Because it's a lot of the times we have in local politics, right? Normally in the city council and stuff, local politicians here, we have incompetent people that are inside these seats. And I'm glad that Christian Manuel showed a good level of competence when I was talking to him about, different things and asked him different questions about the position, because a lot of people don't really know what the state rep can do or pretty much understand that position. So that's why I think a lot of people kind of seen it that way with Mr. Christian Manuel, that he was the best candidate for their choice. Nothing wrong with Jacoy Randall, but I just think Christian Manuel was clearly the winner right here. And another winner right here, Gordon Freeze and Chelsea Ramos. I think Gordon Freeze just kind of went out there and tried to talk to different people. He tried to talk to different people from the Democratic Party, right? So I think that was his main support, right? He had some good crossover votes. And if I'm not mistaken, if this may be the one with Chelsea Ramos, if I'm not mistaken, she may have, from hearing that she was from around the Houston area, Harris County, and she may have also been a Republican over there. So, she come down here and try to be a Democrat. So I think that, if you're doing that, that's kind of, that may have been the killer right there, because they had kind of came out, and I think some people had kind of, noticed that now. And I don't think she's from here. So that's the thing. That's the reason why I think the Gordon Frees won that one. Jeff Brandon Cannon gave us a wide margin over there. Nobody was too surprised about that. The county clerk race, right? Miss Roxanne Hillberg, right? I had a conversation with. I like what she was talking about. I kind of have some similar ideas as her. And one thing I noticed in this race, right? The Democratic Party pushed Jess Prince really hard. I mean, I seen she had a big sign at Hilton Kelly's spot. She had some YouTube videos. Every time I'm trying to watch a video, I see her advertisement. They really pushed her more than any other candidate. I don't know why. I guess because of county clerk they deal with the election. So, but they was really trying to push her. So I don't, that kind of had me skeptical personally. When I don't really know a person, I just see this big, huge push on them. They trying to, force them on you. So, that's one thing I kind of noticed, right? So everybody trying to show her off, and the Democratic Party pushed her more so. Her and Christian Manuel more so. I think maybe her a little bit slightly more than Christian Manuel. They pushed her a lot out of the Democratic Party. So that kind of had me pretty much skeptical. I seen more of her things than of Joe Guillory's or any other type of candidates. So that's for me. It had me pretty skeptical. So I watch politics from a different type of lens, right? If you have the certain people like the Senegals, they pushing these candidates. Certain candidates out there stronger than others. You just have to kind of take notice of that and kind of see what their agenda is. Now the Tim Funches and Charlie Hallmark. Now I'm like with other people. I'm really surprised at this one, right? I'm really surprised. I thought, from what I've been hearing, Charlie Hallmark's been doing a decent job, but for some reason, Mr. Hallmark didn't get his voter base out. For whatever reason, didn't get it out. And it just kind of looked sad. Oh, they looked bad. And he was an incumbent, so I hate that happened, but, hate to see what Mr. Funches do. Hopefully he'll continue some things or do some improvements for it. County Commissioner Precinct 2. This was another onslaught. Carrie Erickson and Julia Rodriguez. I didn't see. Yeah, that's a slaughter right there. I didn't see too much campaigning from his Rodriguez. I don't know. I just didn't see it. They may have. I personally just didn't see a lot of it. So I don't know. This is. I'm not that familiar with either candidate, but Kerry Erickson, he had a landslide victory on this one. And boom, we going back down here to the Justice of the Peace again, Mr. Joseph Guillory, 6%. Independent Cameron Baker, 17.43. And write-in, who was Brandon Boite at 22%, right? So Joe Guillory had an onslaught. That was a good one. Good onslaught of the vote for the Justice of the Precinct 2 race. I already spoke a little bit about that one. Personally, I'm glad he won. And you have Bevel Oaks City Council, Mayor Groves, Chris Bourne, Ward 2 and Groves, Paul Oliver, and a couple other stuff for Groves, Beaumont, agendas, propositions and stuff like that. So Hey, just understand, man. You have to, parties, man. Look, you have to go ahead and attract these citizens, right? You have to get them out and vote. Hold your mouth, hold your tone from their disrespect. You need to go and get out and vote. All the people died to vote. This and that. All the people didn't die to just vote. They died to for you to do something with your vote, right? To vote for a reason. They didn't just doggone die if you just to vote for anybody to keep you in the same oppressive type of environment. They voted for tangibles, right? They voted to get laws passed. So you have to bring to the citizens what kind of plan you want to do for them. I mean, or you're just not going to motivate your voters. I mean, think about it. What reason is it to vote Republican or Democrat if we're not getting anything from them? And especially if you want to try to beat up on your black voter base, right? You know, a lot of people beats up on, well, Democrats beat up on the black voter base nationally, talk about black men, black voters, or anything in general, but you never hear them say anything about Hispanic voters when they give money, policies like DACA, even things for illegals, and you don't see black folks getting anything like that. So, and then you don't never hear them criticize Hispanic immigrant voters like they do black American voters. So you have to understand, you can't keep doing your voter base like that or you're going to lose all of this. So now for me, it's about balancing the count. And I'm glad, look, I'm glad you have some of these fake people that think they're the godfathers out here in them positions now in the Democratic Party think they can kind of call elections, make decisions on who win, who loses. I'm glad. Look, look, the two Democrats in there now, the two Democrats, I'm really, you know, fine with. Basically, I'm really fine with these two Democrats in there. So, hey, you just look. Yeah, I'm fine with all the rest of them being Republicans. So, look, you have to understand with the group is going to have to take a fall. The Democratic Party is going to have to take a fall for it to understand that, hey, you need to change some things. Now, you may need to change the Democratic chairperson. You may have to change that person. But the way that you're going right now, you want to play this what you call it, this divisive type politics when your own party, that's not going to get you anywhere. That's going to get you crapped right out of the hole. So, you know, people can already see when you have people like Mark DeRuin, Brandon Bartee, Chris Bates, Shane Senegal, claim that they're Democrats, right? But they're going after the Democratic nominee. So you're only part-time Democrats, right? And these people don't really have a good name like that in the community. Like, they know what they're about, right? They know that, look, that people are not really listening to these individuals as far as politics. They have a certain amount of following that are just following regardless of whatever, but they not, you know, they kind of lost their stroke, so to speak. You know, they kind of lost their stroke. They kind of know that, hey, look, we've been having this person here for a while. Nothing really getting done. Nothing getting changed for us. We still having these problems. I mean, look, you know, and like with the Brandon, like father, like son. You have the father as the mayor. You know, you're getting flooded. They're not doing the drainage projects. They're not doing major streets projects. So, hey, it's like, why am I going to vote for the same thing? So, people, you got to understand this. Follow these politicians. Make them give you something for the vote. And also, you know, these organizations, Democrats, you need to go ahead and do something to make these citizens motivated to vote. The citizens not going to just vote because you're going to scream at them, say, hey, go out there and vote, or try to scare them to death. No, you have to talk to them like you talk to regular people, right? Like Republicans talk to other Republicans. Yeah, well, no, you need to talk to them like how y'all talk to immigrants, right? Y'all talk to immigrants, y'all promise them this, and that. Giving them money is no type of bull crap with it. There's no type of, hey, we have to see this. It's not when it's time to give black folks something, it got to be for minorities. But when you do an Asian hate crime bill, it's only for Asians. When you're giving Afghans money, that's only for Afghans. When you give Ukraine money for this war, that's only going to Ukraine. When you give Japanese money for the internment camps, it's only going to Japanese. When you give Jews money because they're poor or whatever, or something happened to the Holocaust, that's only going to Jews. So when you have to solidify your base, and the Democrat Party, your base is the black vote. And if you take them for granted, you're going to keep getting this slaughtering that you've already gotten. So, and you keep trying to divide your base, have people argue with base members, and look, that makes you look bad. That makes you look stupid. That makes the Democratic Party look stupid, and makes it look like you don't have no clue what you're doing, and it makes it look like you have ulterior motives. And hey, that's pretty much it. Just wanted to give you a little quick hit it and quit it type of commentary, and that's it. And everybody take it easy. Peace.